Good evening, Central Indiana. Welcome to Porch Time Live from JTH Construction Studio. We have a busy show tonight. A lot of things to get to beforehand. We're going to talk racing tonight and Paragon Speedway and everything else. So let me get to my sponsors real quick. Of course, we're live at JTH Construction Studio. American Basement Solution, 1-877-409-2837. Larry's going to be in studio, matter of fact, at the end of the month to talk about his business. Fathom Real Estate, Teresa Mesmer, 765-341-8911. Drink the Creek, Cedar Creek, don't forget, coming up on January 23rd right here in studio, we are going to be live with RD Productions talking about that concert series. Atlanta Boys Lawn Care, 765-315-9656. FindHelp.org, that is Judge Williams' group. Wayman's Furniture, Appliance, and Mattress, 765-342-4339. Wellspring, 765-346-6661. Stids Comfort Systems, 765-346-0195. And, of course, we have Logan's Cosmos, 765-318-3388. Who's Your Web Nerd, 317-640-4398. And two of our newest ones, we still haven't get them online yet, though. Hometown Nutrition, and, of course, Livewire with Tommy Walls. There's nobody better at that. January 23rd, right here at 7 p.m. That is a Cedar Creek announcement concert. The Thursday shows, the Friday shows, and all that. January 26th at Hubler at 5 p.m. That is the pre-fair concert, and some of the names coming to that, they're incredible. And then January 30th, that is the fair concert announcement. That is at Home Bank. It's a 10 a.m. announcement. I won't be there, but hopefully Beth or Corey will be there. February 21st, we have the Mardi Gras on Main Street, sponsored by Brick House on Main and Porch Time. Tickets are on sale right now for that. And then in March 17th, we have St. Patty's Day Party. So, that's just a little bit of stuff going on. I know somebody's is busier than me, though, because this guy's nonstop. Happy to have Robert and Jennifer Woodward in studio. How are we doing tonight, guys?
Good,
And,
thanks.
and Tim joins us, too. I'm sorry, I should.
Doing great, Kevin.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on here.
Thank you.
You guys been busy. Every time I drive down there, it looks like something else is going on. And before we get into the track, I want to know what got you into racing, Robert, or what got you into wanting to own a track? Were you a racer originally?
Well, Kevin, I've never been a racer. I've always been a fan. But we have a partner, my cousin Daryl, has been a racer. He raced some motorcycle drag races, been a big racing fan himself. And we actually saw the track was for sale, and I sent a text over to Daryl, and he was in the area. He has a farm in Coal City. He stopped in there, and it was the rest is history, man. It went quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went really quick.
So you jumped right on it.
Yep, he texted me, or we made a couple phone calls back and forth, and we were in.
But the bad thing was that was almost right in the middle of COVID, wasn't it?
Well, it was January of 2022, right, Jennifer?
Mhm.
Around January 2022.
Right.
So we were coming out of COVID. But it was still a lot of lingering effects that these local tracks and
Right.
venues had suffered. So I think we closed on it around the beginning of February, and we had our first race March.
I think March 20th, around there.
Around March 20th was the No Way Out 40 that we had with Mason Fleetwood.
Right. That's a biggie.
Yeah, gave us a big goal. It really set us on track to get a lot of things done in a short amount of time with that race happening really quick.
Right.
We pulled it off. We learned a lot. We've got a whole lot more to learn, but I think we're on the right track.
Well, before we get into the season, some of the changes just from last year, can you go over some of the things that you have done? I know there's some amazing stuff going on down there.
Yes, absolutely. So as soon as the last race was over, pretty quickly thereafter, we started moving dirt off the hill. We call it the hill, which is in front of the concession stand where the old bleachers or the old seating was at. We moved about 100 loads of triaxle loads of dirt off the hill and excavated that into a step. It kind of looks like steps. There's 4 steps there. And actually, the bleacher installers just rolled into town tonight. They're at the hotel, I think, at the Holiday Inn in Martinsville. So the crews will be there in the morning to begin assembling these aluminum bleachers, which will provide 3,000 seats on the hill with backs and about 900 seats in the pits that are elevated.
Oh, wow.
With some handicap access, and we'll be doing some other things with handicap access as well. And we've done some other things. March 19th, we have a crane scheduled to come in and put up some new Musco lights, which are state-of-the-art lighting systems. That'll allow us to get rid of a lot of the poles in the infield, a lot of the wires that hang above our heads and obscure the view. Lots of catch fence, new catch fence going in, new telephone poles. You know, we had an accident last year with a Sprint driver that actually flipped over the fence. Tim can attest to this.
Mario Klauser.
Flipped over the fence and turned 3 and landed on a race car, and I think that was probably the closest I've came to having a heart attack so far at Paragon.
Yeah, luckily no one got hurt in that one.
Absolutely.
Yes, everybody was fortunate.
We got busy putting some 25-foot telephone poles in turn 3 to make sure that never happens again.
Right.
So yeah, lights. We've remodeled the pit shack. We have a Paragon Hall of Fame that's going on one of the pit shack walls. We inducted our first person into the Hall of Fame last year. Tim, you remember the Alan Barr night?
Yep.
And Alan Barr, believe it or not, raced the first race at Paragon in 1954. Yes. And we just lost him last week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he passed last week, and he was a spectacular racer and gave a lot to the racing industry, and then sprint car racing itself. So we're very fortunate to get to honor him and present him with a special stainless milk jug trophy last year, and he signed autographs for kids all night, and we had a lot of smiles, a lot of fun.
Well, that's fantastic.
Really glad we got to.
Now, you guys have a tower now? Is that what I'm saying?
It's a control tower. Yeah, it's always been there.
Yeah,
but we gutted that thing and put some new drywall in and a new mini split ductless air conditioning unit and some granite countertops and
made it look nice.
Yeah,
we've got the scoring tower as well.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Yes,
scoring tower.
There is a scoring tower there, which, by the way, needs a sponsor. You know, so you can sponsor the scoring tower. It's got the top sign, the side signs, and you know,
Porch time emblem would look good up there.
Absolutely, it absolutely would for sure. But yeah, we have the electronic scoreboard, which is actually tied into our computer system, and it has a loop that runs under the racetrack. And then we rent what's called a transponder to the racers every night. It goes underneath their car. That loop counts the cars and kind of helps us keep track, and also automatically positions them on the scoreboard. So it's a nice piece of technology, and I'll be the first to admit we struggled with it a little bit last year. So when the fans were in the seats wondering, why are these guys making 9 pace laps? Let's get this show on the road. Well, it was usually because we had screwed something up, you know, in our scoring system.
Well, it sounds like your first year you learned a lot, and your second year you're putting it to use. So
we're trying, and we've got a ton more to learn. I don't think I talked to promoter Tom Helfrich at Tri-State, and he said, I've been doing this. His family's been in it for I think 60 years, and he said we learn something new every race.
Right.
And I couldn't agree more with that sentiment.
So primarily, what is your? I know sprints, and you got late models.
Yeah.
And is that still the primary target down there?
We have the 410 sprints, which we really feel like Paragon is a sprint car track. That's kind of our bread and butter. A lot of fans love to see that. Then of course we've got some late models coming in this year, some super late models. We always have our Hornet class. Super Stock's going to be fun to watch this year. But more than anything, I think the 410s could be really interesting group to watch.
I'm thinking that if you have a 2-seater sprint, which I know doesn't exist, I could go live in there and you could run us around one lap.
I've not seen one, but I bet they're out there.
It'd have to be a big one for me to get in. Yeah. So.
They make the smaller ones.
Okay.
In fact, they had one out of the hill one night during one of the promotional
2-seaters. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be fun to do.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm going to be up bright and early, meeting with this group at the track and watch these guys put this jigsaw puzzle together that I have no idea how it's going to work.
And that's a big thing because those open back bleachers have been there a long time, and you sit on a piece of metal for a long time, any length of time, with no back. Yep. These are nice aluminum with backing on them.
People are definitely excited about the new bleachers.
Right. And how much do they increase seating wise once you're all said and done?
I think that what was the seating capacity on the hill?
We estimated.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, around 2,000.
About 2,000.
That would have been pretty tight.
Yeah, you would have been shoulder to shoulder at 2,000 people still for sure. I think we had about 1,000 for the No Way Out, and it was tight. But the new one will be. Did I say 1,000? 3,000.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 3,000 seats on the hill and 1,000, or about between 900 and 1,000 in the pit.
Now, is this your first time seating in the pits on that side of the track?
No, we had grandstands in there, but they were rough. They were pretty bad conditioned. Yeah, and we actually double stacked the wall, which obscured a lot of the view.
Right.
So we're getting that with the elevated, taking one block down on the wall with the new catch fence.
Right.
Now on the hill where the bleachers are, you're still gonna have the festival type seating there too. Where
Yes.
I know a lot of people like to pull in there and park.
Yep.
Yes.
It did eat into it a little bit. Tim, it ate about 30 or 40 linear feet into the hill with these new bleachers. But yeah, we definitely want folks to be able to come up, and they love to park on the hill, bring their chairs and back up their trucks, up to the fence, and get the family in the back.
There will also be room in front of the actual bleachers.
Yep.
For people to bring chairs. So
now you can pull your truck up and tailgate and everything else right there and watch your race.
Yep, sure can.
See, I bet you people don't realize that.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people probably don't. And unfortunately, we did kind of eat into that space a little bit. But yeah, people really love that.
So you got your own snake pit kind of version
That's what
going
they
on.
call it.
So.
Yep, Tim has to go over there and kind of keep track of what's going on in that snake pit.
Hey, we all grew up in the same era, clearly. Spent many times at the track.
We remember the snake pit.
Yeah. There was the worst thing ever at the Indy 500 infield was the urinal in 3, and I always tell this on air because you go in there and as a 17-year-old kid drinking beer at the track, you walk in there and there's 50 guys standing around a bathtub all peeing in it, and you're like, "What is this?"
Yep. I remember going in there as a kid and seeing that, and I'm thinking I'm supposed to be washing my hands in there. It looked like a sink. I'm
glad you didn't pull that off.
It was something. So at the racetrack, we also had something similar to that when we bought it. In the men's bathroom on the hill, there was just a trough in the floor.
Right.
So all the guys stood there next to each other and did their business. So we got busy with getting rid of that. And we put in like 20 waterless urinals, and this cuts down on the water use, and some dividers and some other things. I think people.
Well, I can't remember how many times last year you'd pop on with a live video on race day or the race weeks and just constantly doing something to that track. And I've lived here almost my entire life, and I've never seen anybody put the effort that you guys have. So,
well, we appreciate that. I think Jennifer would agree with me when it became a real passion really quick.
Right.
I didn't realize what we were getting into. I remember Jennifer and I having some conversations like,
I knew you guys look forward to Saturday night coming down there.
Once we got some things figured out, maybe, Tim, when everyone didn't want to kill us.
The learning curve was a lot of stress in the beginning, just because we were trying to figure that out and get everything done with the infrastructure.
We had a lot of people that helped us a lot, obviously. We had one guy that went way above and beyond. His name was Tim Keithley, and I remember going to his house one night. Him and his wife, they had all these papers out, and they were showing us, I'm not that bright anyway. All this, well, this pays this to win, and this is the 3rd place, and this is 6th place, and I'm over there going, wow, well, we're going to have this so screwed up. But we didn't. They were there with us for a few races, and they helped us, and we locked Jennifer in the pit shack for what, Tim, about 12 or 14 hours a night. She figured it out, Kevin.
Hey, that's all that matters. She's going to come out, or she's going to stay in there. One of the two.
The pit shack tends to catch all the night's problems.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have a clue what's going on out there, but my God, they're going to catch all the problems out there.
Yes, we didn't get to see many races from the pit shack.
Oh,
they know everything I screwed up on in the pit shack quickly.
We heard about it. We did hear about it. Yeah.
Right.
Everybody lets them know.
Let me ask you this: typical day on let's say race day Saturday night. I assume there's race on Saturday night.
Yep.
When do you get there and when do you leave?
Well, it's interesting. Daryl, my partner, by the way, without his resources and the support that he's given this, most of these improvements wouldn't be happening. But Daryl would start his Saturday night on Thursday night after work with his crew, track prep.
Track prep.
So water, disc, grade, so they'd be there 4 or 5 hours Thursday. And then a few hours on Friday night. And then Daryl would get to the track with his crew about 8 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. And he'd still be standing out there at turn 3, 11 or 12 o'clock that night. So his days are long. Our days would usually start about 10 or 11 on Saturday morning at the track. And getting the pit shack going and It could get
long days.
It could get pretty long. We watched the sun come up a few times on the way home.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we have.
I haven't drank very many beers at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I did last summer. Yeah, a couple times.
So that what they're talking about was there was only two or three of the races ran long.
Yeah,
but it was the car count was heavy.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of classes run that night,
yes.
And that was some of the complaints you had. But you guys worked through that well. I thought it smoothed out well.
Yeah, we've got some more to do.
Can't please everybody,
yeah.
But
yeah, that's a good point, Tim. Because we've got 2 batches of people. We've got the fans and the racers, and I would love to be able to race every class. We had to cut a couple classes this year because of the time frame, but I'd love to be able to run every class. And if you're tired and you're ready to go home, go ahead and watch your sprint feature, go home, and we'll race late into the night. But unfortunately, we really want to get out of there at 11:30 or 12, try to get the fans home.
Right.
Everybody wants to get home and get the kids in bed and all that in decent. That's a battle that we struggle.
It smoothed out though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this
just a
year
few
we will
times.
only have, most nights we'll only have 4 classes. Occasionally we'll have 5 this season, but last year we had 5 and 6 at night, which really went late into the night.
Yeah, you could compound the 5 and 6 classes. We'd have a few issues, technical things like like the loop wasn't operating properly. We weren't as quick at cleaning up accidents as we could have been. We weren't as quick with getting the next batch of cars out, the next class of cars out, which we're really going to double down and focus on that this year, making the show
get it moving,
go fast. Yeah, go fast, make a good show, and get it faster so that people can get home and
right.
Go wake up on Sunday morning in time to go to church.
Instead of coming home and then
changing clothes and
go to church.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
But again, it's also the top paying track around here. I mean,
yeah, we definitely put some payouts out there last year. Definitely trying to give back to the racers. That's one thing that we're fighting against is inflation.
Right.
And these guys and gals that race, I mean, they put heart and soul into this stuff, and the prices have just gotten crazy. I would imagine some aren't going to be able to do it. Prices of the materials and the parts and the fuel and the tires and the aluminum and the bodies and the steel for the frame, it's got crazy. Something else we're going to struggle with this year is food prices in the concession stand. We want to have very best food that there is, at the same time
make it affordable for a family.
So if you're going to bring your 2 or 3 kids, mom and dad, to the racetrack, you have to try to strike a balance somewhere where they can afford it.
Well, I tell you guys had a fan, Coach Moore from Center Grove. I don't know if you know him, but he was diagnosed with cancer and everything. But when he'd come down here on the weekends and go to Paragon Speedway and watch races. They said he'd put a hat on and jacket up and just sit there in the stands and watch the races. Yeah,
I think he talked about it a couple times.
Yeah,
that's one of the things you changed was the races used to be on Friday night for years. Now it's on Saturday night.
Yeah.
So, and for competition wise, I mean, because there was other racetracks open on Friday night and so divide it. But you brought up a good point. Let's talk about the food, because the food. People always complain there's nothing to do in this county.
I know it. I'm going to get that. Hang on.
Yeah, so ask him about that food.
Scotty says Paragon Speedway was the first. He started taking photos out with Mike and Sue Johnson, and they reported in the early '80s. Wow. Scott's our resident photographer.
Okay.
He needs to stop in here. I got something for you, Scotty. I almost sent you a text tonight. But yeah, like Tim said, the food. We gotta create a niche there or something like Paragon tacos or.
Yeah. Oh, they've already got it.
What we got? Let's hear it.
Go ahead, Jen.
This is a subject that our site loves. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, we haven't made final decisions on all the menu yet this year, but last year one big hit we had was the spicy sloppy joes. Thanks to my Aunt Leslie.
Was that an accident or was that?
Oh, we had people asking for them, and she experimented a little bit in making them spicy, and they were spicy. But that was a hit.
People liked them. Did you have them, Tim?
Yeah, I didn't realize they were spicy. And your aunt was there, and she goes, "Well, careful, that's got a little bit of habanero in that one tonight." But it was, and I'm not a spicy person, eating person, but it was really good. I was like, "Wow, that is great."
See, I can enjoy spicy, so I have to try that.
But we'll have the traditional, hamburgers, hot dogs. We had really good hot dogs there. I think 1/4 pound beef, all beef franks. and those were a big hit as well.
You got to get a hot dog if you go to the track.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Mhm.
like going to a
there's
ball
everything.
game.
There's barbecue, there's sloppy joes,
Mhm.
there's you name
Yeah.
it.
So I threatened Jennifer to start making her bread our own chicken tender. And I said,
He's trying to kill me here.
Do you go to Philly? What is it, like Philly cheesesteak or Penn Station? Do you see how easy they make their French fries?
Potatoes, yeah.
Like, why can't we do that at the racetrack? Why can't we slice our own French fries and bread our own chicken? So it tastes like Gray Brothers. And she's like, gosh.
And make your own strawberry pies like
Yeah.
Gray Brothers. I mean, come on.
Why not? One thing that was really cool is we put in a couple snow cone machines, and I mean they obviously had them before.
Kids
Snow
love
cones, yeah. Kids just love the snow cones. We'd have a lot of race drivers would come up and give the ladies in the concession stand like $50 or $100 and say, buy as many free snow cones as you can for the kids. And we learned real fast you don't put on the PA system free snow cones.
No.
And we had a trample at the concession. Kids are falling, they're flying around the corners of the building, falling in the gravel.
When I was working with Paul Lauk at New Start one year at the fair, we set a snow cone machine up. It's free. Just get in line and we'll do a snow cone. We had a line of about 20 kids that they just kept rotating in for hours. I'm like, dude, what is this, lunch and dinner at the snow cone machine?
Yes. Absolutely.
So I told Paul the next year, I said, we're not doing a snow cone.
Probably a lot of upset parents with the sugar rush. I would
Oh
imagine.
yeah, and all it was is ice with food color.
Mhm.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Absolutely.
But-
One of the other things that we had a lot of fun doing was giving away remote control cars. Tim, I don't know if you got to see any of that or not. But
Yes, the
we would
giveaways.
always try to have remote control cars for the kids. I remember I was at Ace Hardware one day and getting something back on a Saturday, and Singer Hobbies was right next door.
Yeah.
So I slid in there and bought 2 Traxxas remote control cars and gave them away to kids. And like a month later, Jennifer's credit card. Who's Singer Hobbies? What did you spend $500 on?
Yeah, they get pricey.
Yeah, I said, just don't worry.
So I'm not
about
the
it.
only one that gets that.
Oh man, it got bad.
Oh, you gotta, yeah.
There was something from some place in New Jersey called the Confetti House in New Jersey, and she's like, "What is the Confetti House? Sounds like a." Or something. I said, "No, that's my confetti bomb machine for the Victory Lane. Don't worry about that."
Move that a little closer to you, so I don't want them to not be able to hear you.
Yeah.
How has the reception of Paragon, the town itself, good?
Oh yeah, wonderful. The people in Paragon, I mean, it's a hidden jewel.
Yeah.
And the people there are fantastic, and that's where we get a lot of our energy at, is from the support that we get from the fire department to the RC. They have an RC park in Paragon for the kids, for kids and adults actually. It's really cool, and we try to support them as well.
That's fantastic.
It's just a great place. I mean, the neighbors are great to us. The neighbors across the street, the samples. I mean, they let us. We had a really, really busy night, and they're scurrying around looking for places we can park cars and trailers. I mean, they're just a great bunch of people.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
So when's the new season kickoff?
Well, go ahead.
Well, March 11th is the first scheduled race. It's the No Way Out 40, which was our first race last year. And the season goes all the way until October, I believe, 7th.
It runs forever, doesn't it?
Yes.
There's
And
23 scheduled
Mhm.
races. The No Way Out 40 is kind of like what you would call like an icebreaker. There's lots of people that have been working on their sprint cars and they're ready to get out. So it's weather permitting, but we had a good one last year, didn't we, Tim? We had a
great turnout.
great day, a great super turnout, great race.
I look for it to be double this year.
Yeah, I do too. I hope so. I just hope we can squeeze out that one day of weather that we need
Right,
in that.
and you're rolling the dice that early in March.
Yes,
'cause
absolutely.
Definitely.
It could be rain, it could be snow, it could be everything.
Yep, absolutely.
Cold weather. And what can I ask what the payout is for that one roughly?
Last year,
Scotty said great show last year. Yeah.
Last year, the payout for the No Way Out was either 14 or 15,000 to win, but we're actually going to drop the purse a little bit this year so that we can drop the ticket prices, so that we can try to help people get in and enjoy the race. You know? So
yeah, and I don't think it's been quite decided for sure yet.
No, we haven't decided completely for sure, but we're trying to focus on getting those ticket prices down.
I'm just going to be the guy
race.
promoting that. I'll challenge all these other the Ohio guys, the Illinois guys.
Yeah,
First race of
absolutely.
the season, that's a good payout.
Well, we're talking money. obviously you got to have sponsors to run a facility like that.
Yes.
Who is your main sponsor, or do you have a main sponsor of Paragon Speedway?
I don't know that we have a main sponsor. We have a lot of great sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a big money sponsor.
O'Neill Salvage was a big sponsor.
Yeah. Don and Anna O'Neill have sponsored us right from Jump Street from day one. So if I had to pick one, that would be the O'Neills and O'Neill Salvage for sure.
Red Barrel Liquors.
Red Barrel in Mooresville and Monrovia. They do a great job for us. They sponsor the water
Hi,
truck.
Rob Stout.
I think you know Rob Stout.
Yep. Hey, Rob Stout. Yep, Rob Stout's our director of safety there, so he keeps everyone safe, and he does a lot of good stuff for us behind the scenes too.
Gotta have them.
So speaking of money and sponsors, Kevin, we need sponsors. We need sponsors, and if we get sponsors, when we get the sponsors, that money goes right back either into the racetrack, into the purses, or into the diesel fuel tanks of the tractors to prep this track out and get it ready to race.
At $5 a gallon right now, it'll go quick.
Yes.
If someone wanted to be a sponsor, or even at just nickels and dimes, how would they get a hold of one of you two?
Well, we'll post something on our Facebook page either tonight or in the morning that is a list of our sponsorship opportunities. It's like how much a billboard is, how much you can sponsor the whole racetrack and call it Porch Times Paragon Speedway for $20,000.
There you go.
I don't know where you think that. If we can get that in there going, then we can work something out.
Perfect. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we have billboard opportunities. One of the things that is very interesting about Paragon is the opportunity for some companies like one of our sponsors is Stoops Freightliner Truck Country, for them to come down and talk to the young guys in this area, the farm guys that have been working on their four-wheelers, their side-by-sides, their cars, their tractors since they were 10 years old, and to recruit these diesel mechanics that are so badly needed in the city. I mean, there is a massive shortage of diesel mechanics. So this area is plentiful with young guys that can use their hands. So I think that's something we may see some of our sponsors take advantage of this year.
That's a great point. I never even thought of that, but
yeah,
there's shortages in every, all over the map.
Absolutely,
everything, even in what I do.
Yep.
And it's just, I don't know if it's the will to work or where they're going, but
we have a broken system, and our government a lot of times exacerbates a problem, makes it worse.
They ate it. Yep. They feed it. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Literally.
Yep. Absolutely.
So when he said young, not to change the subject, but he means young. What did we have last year? An 11-year-old running a Hornet?
Yeah, I think so. I think we did.
And did well.
Yep.
I think he was 18. Don't state law say he was 18.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, hey, that's on him. His own insurance paper said 18. But
we also, speaking of racers, we also have some women that run at our track. Abby, Katie.
Yeah.
And I know I'll forget someone, but they don't mess around.
I coached Abby in softball forever.
Mm-hmm.
And when I know her dad and her mom.
Great people, by the way.
And then when I heard she was running, and each race was like, she's getting better. Jeremy kept posting, and the next thing she's holding trophies, you know.
Yeah, there was.
I got to get her in here.
Believe me, the guys aren't letting anybody win or anything like that. These young ladies they're earning
out there dominating
every inch that they get. They're earning.
That's fantastic.
Katie Grigsby in a bomber last year was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, she won. Last year.
Yeah, it was a lot. Of fun.
Is she local? I don't know.
I think Katie lives maybe in Paragon. I know she works.
So from the area.
Yeah, she works at Bender Lumber.
That's fantastic.
A great.
Yep. Tim hit on it earlier. So often you hear, there's nothing to do in this town.
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
Fantastic racing almost 23 weeks this summer.
Yes.
This spring to fall.
Yep. And we're trying to add things in. We had the Paragon Classic last year. We're trying to do things for kids. We had carnival games.
Yeah.
We're trying to make it a family atmosphere where it's fun for everyone to come to. Maybe dirt racing's not your thing, but there'll hopefully be something at Paragon Speedway that you will enjoy.
I'm thinking you guys need to get some sprint cars, like a row of them, and put them in the fall foliage just to promote it.
That's a great idea.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because that's a free advertisement.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Free in a row, and have a banner or something.
That's a great idea for sure.
Well, here's a good chance for these parents that are trying to decide whether their kid's going to use the toilet or the litter box. Get them out into a dose of reality and bring them down to the dirt.
And that's our show for
So there's one thing about dirt track racing is, you can bring kids out to this and they can get behind a driver and follow them. All they may be racing Bloomington, Lincoln Park, Paragon, Kokomo, and you can follow these drivers, and it's fun. I mean, and they're great role models for the kids to look up to. I mean, some of these race drivers, they come up on the hill and they sign kid autographs for the kids.
That's fantastic.
We can get the kids in the pits. We need to get back to some grassroots type stuff. Get away from the phones, nonstop on the phones, and get the kids engaged with some things to stimulate them.
Rob's saying Paragon has the richest history in Indiana dirt track history. There you go.
Yeah, and that's a big reason why we bought it, was the history. I mean, I have people come up every race and say, hey, I've been coming here since I was 2 years old. I'm 75 years old. I remember coming in here with my great grandpa, and and how things have changed. There's very deep.
Every big sprint car driver, and even a couple of NASCAR drivers have drove on that track.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I remember when we would go down. He was involved with Bobby Smith forever, and when we would go down there, you'd never know who was going to show up.
Yeah, that's for sure.
There are some big names.
Yes,
come across that dirt.
Absolutely, there's a lot of big names. Tim, you might be able to name some of them. I mean, I know Chase Briscoe was there, right?
Briscoe's. You mean last year? Or
No, I mean just
previous.
Through the
you
history.
think sprint cars, you think of Steve Kinzer.
Yeah,
yes.
Kinzer's ran.
Kinzer
there.
family.
Bob, the whole Kinzer family ran there forever.
Yes, absolutely. We definitely going to work on getting some Kinzers inducted into our Hall of Fame as quickly as possible. So hopefully we can do some of that.
His grandson ran there this year. Jordan.
Yep,
That's
Jordan
his
Kinzer.
grandson, right? Jordan is. Yeah.
Weren't we watching Jordan at the Chili?
Yeah, I think it was.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Scott, Mike, and Sue. Sometimes we'd have cars and drivers on the square, and that's where I first learned about it.
Yeah, that's
many years ago on the race before Saturday.
Definitely a good idea.
Kind of a pain in the butt, but
I graduated from Mooresville High School in 1994, and I didn't know Paragon Speedway existed. Because if we did, we would have probably been down here racing something.
Yeah.
But I mean, we literally didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we do have some work to do with getting the word out on this.
Let me ask you this: have you thought about branching the track out to other options or other ideas? RC races, I saw they make those that look like would mess the track up, but maybe in the infield, the RC races and things like that.
Yeah, I think we're going to work with Marcus Cooper, which he runs the RC track in town, in the town of Paragon. We may have him down to kind of run in an intermission race,
right?
Where we use a little bit of the track and then some of the infield, for that.
That would be interesting.
Yep. And we want to explore things using the track for, depending on how these bleachers and the seating and everything.
It's a nice venue
for some concerts and some other things for the community. Absolutely, car shows or whatever we can do to utilize the property to its fullest extent.
I know you got Paragon Homecoming that goes on down there.
Yep.
And I think there's another event they do earlier in the year, maybe not.
Sure, I just know the Paragon Homecoming.
Maybe that's
we
it.
got behind them and sponsored them. That's a great bunch of people that.
Oh yeah.
Do that. We had fun down there at the homecoming for sure.
And now Rick Finney and all of them.
Yep.
Rick's a good dude. They normally come on here to promote it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely. One other thing that we are going to do our best to get done here soon is live streaming. So we have www.paragonspeedway.tv, and we will be doing our own live streaming at some point this year. I mean, it's hopefully very soon. We're actually waiting on REMC fiber right now to get us hooked up with some fiber.
There you go.
To complete it. But we were also hoping you'd come down and do some live streaming.
Well,
for Porch Time.
We're just going to discuss that on air right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's my idea.
Okay.
We don't have what it takes to show and keep track. We're not
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not going to list the drivers and their car symbols and all that.
And all that. Yeah.
But I mean, like my iPad, I can set that in the corner of a press box and show 80% of that track.
Mm-hmm.
Talk racing. Talk about heats. Advertise.
Yep.
And it'd be right on here.
Yeah, that's what we want to
do.
do.
Even once a month or something like that, pop down there, or come down on a Saturday afternoon and say,
"Yep,
hey, we're down here with Robert. What's going on tonight?"
Absolutely, we need every bit of that, Kevin. We can reach as many people as we can and fill those stands up and keep this place alive for another 100 years. Is what the goal is. Yeah,
it's part of the county. It's a tradition.
Yep.
Just like Rob said, that's something you don't want to see die.
No, for sure. We don't want to see any of them die, and we've got some really good ones around here. I mean, we've got Bloomington, we've got Paragon, Lincoln Park. If you like dirt racing,
is that Lincoln?
Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
If you like dirt racing you don't have to drive very far if you live in this area to get some of the best dirt racing that you'll see in the whole Midwest. I mean,
to this day, old video guy, old PlayStation guy, the greatest game I ever found. But the most disappointed I was, it had every track. It had the action track. It had Eldora. It had Winchester. It had Bloomington. And they literally said, because I married a girl from Bloomington when I was married. She said, well, check and see if there's a dip on the front stretch because it's been there forever. And they said they had guys walk the entire track before they made it. It was old NASA. It was an old sprint car game.
Yep.
Didn't have Paragon.
Oh yeah.
But it had almost had the Chili Bowl, had everything. And I'd run Bloomington trying to beat Hawk and Child's record down there. You had to set up. It had an easy section, and you had to set up everything on the car, and I never could get it. But
I've not played video games in years, but I know that a lot of my friends. There is another video game out now, and I know it's got Kokomo on it and some other tracks. I don't know what it's called, Outlaws something maybe.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
But it looks really cool, and
we got to get Paragon on the map on that on the race car games.
Maybe we can. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
We just feel honored to have been able to buy it. And a lot of that was Daryl and his resources and been able to do the remodel that we're doing. But the history of the place is it's phenomenal. We really fell in love with it. Really didn't. For the first few races, we were beating our heads against a concrete wall, but since we've kind of figured out how somewhat a little bit to do things, it's gotten a lot easier, and it really became passion.
Growing pains, and you'll get there. Yeah. One other question: is our buddies from Cedar Creek going to be back this year? Have we talked about that yet?
I have not talked to Cedar Creek, but I'm almost positive we're going to be doing something
with the distillery side of it. I'm pretty good friends with a couple of them in there.
Yep.
And I'm friends with all of them out there, but
sure,
Angie is one of them.
We want to have Cedar Creek out. I know last year was such a whirlwind. We didn't really get to reach out and do a lot of connections with some of the local vendors here, but we're going to work to do a little bit more of that this year.
That's good stuff.
And real quick, we talked about sponsorship. So Facebook page, they can go to your Facebook page, which is Paragon Speedway.
Yep.
And on their website too.
ParagonSpeedway.com. Yep.
When you post that, if you want to post it on the community page,
yes,
we can
wear
do
it
that.
out.
Yep, we'll do that.
Or tag me on the one on your something, but post race results and everything, wear it out. I tell people that's more of a business page, and I know we get a lot of interaction and stuff, but
sure,
wear that out.
Well, we appreciate
14,000 local. I think there's 10,000 people within 20 miles of this house right here that are on that page.
Yeah, that's awesome, and we will do that. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we definitely kind of ran out of time last year to do a lot of things.
Yeah, so we definitely have to work on the sponsorship side.
Yeah, but the gains that you made last year, you're going to pay your dividends this year, and same thing. You know how it goes.
Yep.
And then this year for next year, and people are going to see that.
Yep, we've got a lot to learn. I mean, we have just so much to absorb and learn about the whole how to make it go fast, what the technical rules are.
And so many people that had history at Paragon and the community, they've helped tremendously in that department.
Got a new director on last year. We've had so many great people help us, but Josh Cunningham is our director, and he does a great job. He was a 7-time Paragon sprint car champion.
Wow!
So he comes from a racing background, obviously. Very, very helpful, knowledgeable person. Have him. We have tons of people. Tim's helped us since day one.
Have you got him in a car yet? Has he took one around the little truck yet?
Not yet. He's usually got his plate pretty full, Kevin.
Of that, but let's talk about Robert getting in a car.
Oh
yeah.
What happened? Did you run one?
I did.
A bomber or a late model or?
I ran a Hornet and got a whole new respect for these guys.
You wipe it out?
I gave her hell for 4 laps until the front tire blew out on it. I parked her in the infield and retired Kevin right there on the spot.
Tipped your hat.
Yeah.
But he did do it.
Today.
Really
I feel like the luckiest man. Yeah.
I got a new respect for those guys. It may have been all Cavaliers and Hondas chasing each other around the track, but it gets your blood pumping pretty good.
So you let me know when it's at off race, nobody's out there on a Saturday night. We'll show up in 4 and we'll run them.
We can do that.
There you go.
It's not like passing a blue hair on 67 that's just in your way.
No, it's not. That's what I used to think it was like, and I got fooled. It was not. You had 20 guys, 25 guys out there chasing each other around. willing to put you over the wall, in the pond, wherever they needed to put
Yeah, we
you.
had
So
few
you
in
were
the
you in the
pond.
were you in the race? Actually in the race?
Yeah, it was
Oh
a
wow,
race,
no.
yeah. But I went flat. My tire went flat like after 4 laps.
Yeah, he wasn't
I
out
was
there by
just-
himself.
I was just getting warmed up though. They were
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
to
how
catch
many,
me.
how many did we have on the track that
Go
night?
ahead and blow that tire now for
Yeah.
me.
Pop it, Jennifer. So
What was the full? What was it? Was
Oh,
it the
man.
heat race or was it a?
no, it was a feature.
It was a feature. Yeah, so it was 20 cars.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was
the Prelude.
Prelude to a Scream. We
yeah,
raced.
that's right.
That's
Uh,
fantastic.
Chad Taylor was our announcer last year.
Who?
And
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
he did the Prelude to a Scream and raised $42,000 for St. Jude.
That's fantastic.
Yep. So everyone would sponsor. I think. Let me see how it works. So everyone would sponsor a driver, and whoever got the highest amount of money, which I got the highest amount of money because I sponsored myself to get pole position, and then the second place would get second and third. I don't think I ended up with pole position. Someone beat
Did you
me.
lead a lap or no?
Shit, no, hell no. I got my doors blown off as soon as that green flag flew down. Boy, they were serious. It
You
was-
left your turn signal on again
Yeah.
in the slow lane.
I was like, slow down, guys, slow down.
They should have gave you a parade lap or something. Let you lead, like the Tour de France. Let you lead a little bit there.
Something for the old fogey.
Right.
Yeah. No, they didn't give me any breaks out there, Kevin. I'm not gonna lie.
We're gonna have to sneak a driver in. That's
Yeah.
what you do. Is
Yeah.
walk out there with a full helmet on, a suit, and you duck down.
Yeah,
like
there you go.
Yeah.
youngster, get in there and
Yes.
run them, baby.
Exactly. It was a lot of fun though. We did have some fun that night. Sure.
Well, we're going to be coming down there.
Right.
We've been in contact and
Mhm.
some different stuff, but definitely going to come down there and try to. I don't want to say help. I just want to be a part of it because I think it's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And
just
bring
turn
a
as
little
many
racing.
people
Yeah.
onto it as we can, and we appreciate your help doing that. It's going to be tremendous to help.
And that's the thing.
Get
We,
the
we
word
can't
out.
cover the race like that, and nor would I want to cover a whole race. Get your butt down there.
Yeah.
Pay your entry fee.
Yep.
Get in there and get some of that good food and
Yeah.
watch them racing
Come
on
down
a
and have some
Saturday
fun.
night.
Yep. Come down and have some fun. What our families have been doing for generations and generations. I mean, my family talks about my grandma and grandpa loading the kids up, putting them in the floorboard of the LTD and heading to Paragon, having some cocktails when they got down there. And grandpa would think he was a race driver on the way home back to Indy, you know.
Look what Rob said. Don't let him fool you. It was classic Wrecky Bobby.
It got a little crazy that night for sure. We do have some great
Shake
races,
and
though.
bake, baby.
Shake and bake.
So, yeah, real quick, and I know we got to go on soon.
We're
but
fine.
Talk about the schedule this year. The schedule is phenomenal coming up this year.
You can find our schedule on our Facebook page and on our website. But we've mixed it up a lot this year. We've got some midget racing, some late model races, got a super late model race. And like Jennifer said, we tried to cut some classes down so we can get folks out of there quicker. Tim, you have a lot of experience with Paragon. I mean, what's the schedule like this year compared to what they usually did?
So it looks similar to me from years past.
Okay.
Now you've got it condensed to where,
Yeah.
but you're bringing in, I'd say, the bigger groups. You know,
Yeah.
like those late models you're bringing in.
Yeah.
The more, I'm not saying this to take away from any of the other classes, but the quality classes that
Yeah.
are coming in.
Yeah, and one thing we have is we've got a couple young men that live in the area, Tyler Neal and Steve Peden, and they both race crate cars. They're big supporters, so we had to get some of those. I think there's one or two of those races in where we can get local guys home track to be.
There you go. And that helps out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
they had a
they
big
brought a lot of
following.
cars.
Yeah,
Mhm.
when we had them last season, I think twice.
I have to get them in here and
Yeah.
chit chat with them.
Yes, absolutely.
That'd be
Either one of
fun.
those guys would be really good guests to have in there and talk race.
It's an expensive sport, both
man.
sides of it.
It's terribly expensive
I
and
said-
getting worse every day.
Congrats to Jace Cooper, our buddy. We've sponsored him off and on. He's a quad runner, and I know his mom and dad have probably just won another championship,
Yeah, that's awesome.
and they had that online. We're going to have him in here soon, but
Mhm.
man, the money they said they spend,
Oh,
they're just,
Yep.
and like you said, it's not getting
No.
any better right now.
None of it's getting any cheaper.
Mm-mm.
I don't think it's gonna be a long time probably before we see the prices go down. We haven't seen aluminum or steel going down anytime soon. So
That's
Yeah, and tires were a big thing for if they could
If they
get
could
them.
get 'em.
If they could get 'em,
for the
right,
shortage,
yeah.
last season.
'Cause I know someone that just bought the last 10 Hoosier tires and just get those.
we try to keep it as open as we can with the tires. Let them run as many kinds of tires as they can, so that we don't lock them in.
Right.
An expensive tire or something they can't get or what have you. So we try to make it as open as we possibly.
Well, Jimmy, you got anything else?
I don't know. I had 1 minute ago, but I forgot what it was.
And I'm older. Remember that.
Me too.
Looking at what I typed in to cover, but I think we've covered most.
Yeah, we've hit on pretty much everything. Anything you guys want to discuss or say before we?
I'd like to give a big thank you to fans and the racers for the support that they gave us last year.
Yeah.
Yes, the support's been
Well,
amazing.
that's what I was
It's
gonna
also the cost to get it. We haven't set our entry fees yet for the year, but it costs almost $20 to go to the movie. To go for an adult to go to a movie.
Yeah.
And so you can come and get several hours of entertainment in a night, with your family, and not spend any more than you would going to, at the movie theater.
And see something more entertaining, in my opinion.
And we promise not to indoctrinate.
Some nights are real entertaining.
Yes, more up than others. But I was just going to say, it's amazing to see how many local people are actually racing down there.
Yes,
we've got a lot of locals, but we get people all the way from the West Coast, California, racing.
Yep,
that's fantastic.
Yep, we have a sprint car guy from the West Coast that comes and races with us, Ricky Lewis.
Mike, he's Special Olympics, Morgan County nonprofit group. We want like to volunteer to help pass out flyers for you guys. He's saying so.
Absolutely,
that might be something interesting.
Mike, please send us.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, if you can go to our Facebook or the website and send us an email about that, we'd be more than happy to do that. We worked with a group,
the
Sycamore group in Martinsville last year.
Sycamore Services,
and had them at the track, and we had golf cart races.
They had a great time.
And lunch, and man, we had a ball. It was probably one of the coolest.
That sounds fun. I need to get there for that.
Yes,
stuff, so.
I mean, we got hats and T-shirts, and we did lunch, and we ran all the gas out of the golf carts, and we had race drivers that came in and were driving the carts. We had a heck of a day. We're absolutely looking to do more and more of that stuff with the community.
There's one of my sponsors, Fathom Real Estate, Teresa Messmer. She says by the time you buy tires, fuel, pieces, part like wings, you need to refinance everything. One old guy told me years ago it was cheaper to do dialysis than race, so sell those kidneys.
I believe it. So with these guys and girls race, it's in their blood.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, a lot of them, it's not a question of if they can afford it or not. It's just, they figure out a way.
They're going to race no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, if you've ever heard the Tony Stewart story about how he used to call sponsors and, he would just call and call and call and call until he raised enough money to race. And that's how he got started. And I would imagine that some of our racers do the same thing. It's not if I can afford to race this year. And that's something that kids need to learn is like,
sure,
if there's a will, there's a way. You can figure out how to do it.
And that seems lost in this generation right now.
Yep,
Smoke probably be pretty persuasive.
Yeah, I could imagine. I could imagine he probably would be.
So it's Tony Stewart. He owns USAC, the mid
World. Does he? Yeah. Who owns Woo now? Anybody?
His dad Nelson actually came down and raced last year. Nelson's 84.
Yes,
he raced.
He's still racing.
He raced in Tony's or was it the TQ midgets?
Yes, the All-Star,
which are fun to watch. Yeah, and it's a classy group of people to have, and they'll be back at the track this year. Tony owns Eldora.
Yeah, he owns Eldora,
which
they do that race, that miracle race or whatever.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job with that place. I mean, that's like world renowned. I mean, people are coming from all over the world to go to.
That was a pretty cool track.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been there for a while, but yeah.
Really neat.
Nelson actually crashed last year. He had a flip. The guy at 84 years old came out there like a spring chicken. Yes. And he was back in his trailer, and I walked past him and looked at the car. I said, well, Nelson, I know a guy that might be able to fix that for you. He didn't even...
It didn't even bother him.
Yeah, it didn't even bother because he just went on about his business. He goes, maybe.
At 55, if I flip one right now, I'd be like,
yeah,
check me out.
Yeah, me too.
At 84, he flipped
84
one.
years old. Yep, sure did.
And walked away.
I think it keeps him young. He loves it.
Mike, we appreciate that. So, yeah, send them an email or something on their page, and they'll get you the information you need to help pass out. I appreciate it, Mike.
Yep, thanks, Mike.
Well, guys, looking forward to it. It's not far off, really.
Yep. Coming quick.
Yeah, less than 2 months. You believe that?
Yeah.
Got a lot to
We got a lot to
done.
do, but
November, December, January, February. That's your off time. And I noticed what you've been doing in your off time.
Yep.
I really don't think you've quit down at the
No.
track. It's been nonstop other than
no,
a couple of days, right?
As soon as that last race was over, we got busy on it, and we have day jobs too. As Daryl, our partner, has he's got 200 triaxles to look after, so obviously he doesn't have a lot of extra time either. So we still got to work our day job plus do this, but we've gotten a hell of a lot of stuff done since the last race.
Yeah.
Have you been there lately, Tim?
There a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks great.
We used to talk about the Kensers when the dad would throw down a cigar.
That's when stuff tightened up. So.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Bob, yeah. So Bob's steering wheel looked like something out of an old airplane. They had to cut, and I'm not speaking ill of him, but because of his belly, he had to cut the steering wheel in half at the bottom. So it looked like an old airplane.
You made
In a
it work.
sprint car?
Yes, in a sprint
Oh my
car.
You
God!
made it work. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that family is world renowned for sure. I was just watching
Bettenhausen's and their Kensers. Yeah.
just watching a YouTube video the other day of Steve running at Indy 500, and it kind of reminded me, that he could much drive anything.
Yeah.
Kind of like Kyle Larson, that's going to be in the 500 this year.
Right.
Remember
when
Kyle's
they ran the
already
IROC races and they put Steve in one of those?
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yep.
did hung with them.
Yep, fantastic.
Yeah.
Some of those guys are just, I know it's a skill that they hone, but I think some of them just born with a
Different kind of folks.
yeah. Yep.
All right, y'all.
Well, thanks for having us, Kevin.
Yeah,
Tim.
thank you.
Glad to finally get you in here. And
Absolutely.
you're like trying to track down Bigfoot, I swear. You guys are
Like herding cats.
right. But it's good stuff. You're always busy,
Well,
and
yep.
and if people only knew what all you're doing for the community, it's awesome. So
Well, we appreciate that, and we're glad to be able to do it, and we're thrilled to work with you guys to reach some more ears and eyes and get them out to the racetrack.
Rob says awesome of how much footage of Paragon was on the Chili Bowl pre-race. There you go,
I didn't see that, Rob.
getting that pub.
Yeah, absolutely. We got mentioned. Thought it was pretty cool last year during a NASCAR race. Can't remember.
I remember
Well,
that.
it was,
They
but-
do. They say every
Yeah.
now and then someone will drop a hint, or
Yep.
Stewart or Gordon or one of them, and
Yep. It was kind of cool.
they're racing down there at Paragon tonight. I
Yeah.
bet. I'm like, yeah.
It was one of the guys that was in the race said, well, he cut his teeth at a little track
Paragon,
in
yeah.
Indiana called Paragon Speedway. It was
That's fantastic.
pretty cool.
All right,
thanks,
guys.
Thanks again,
Right.
Kevin.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll figure it out, and
Absolutely.
we'll start announcing. Go down there and do some things with you guys. So
Absolutely. Can't wait.
thanks you guys for tuning in tonight. Tomorrow's Monday. Make the most of it. Start of the week. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and we will see you soon.